Good evening, and welcome to 30-Minute Reviews. I am Adam. We're going to have an episode going up later this week where we go more in-depth into some of the new stuff we have, but for right now, we're just going to talk about, one of the things that's related to that, because we got a trailer today and a release date for Agatha All Along, the new Marvel show on the Disney Plus. Now, it comes out September 18th. We have enough time to get through if we start this week. One episode a week of WandaVision all the way through to the end of, Multiverse of Madness. But that said, we're going to be covering that starting on Thursday. Every Thursday we're going to have an episode up where we talk about an episode of WandaVision. So, it is what it is. I want to address something with this. So I watched this trailer, and I have to say I wasn't super impressed. I mean, look, let's be real. I'm not one of those people who's like, well, what does this fit into the existing canon? What is the point of this show? Not everything needs to be on that same Marvel Studios, like everything's going to be in the lead up to Infinity War and Endgame. That's not where I am with this. If you want to make a methodical character study, by all means, I'm here for that. I'll sit through that. I'm for that. My issue with this is that I think as we go through WandaVision, one of the things we're going to realize is that WandaVision as a show on Disney Plus for Marvel Studios is kind of okay, but not great. The thing about WandaVision that kind of made it the inflection point that it was, at the time it did, was the pandemic. It was the fact that sitting down and watching WandaVision in 2021 was us looking at, this is our first time seeing the Marvel Studios logo in front of something since Spider-Man Far From Home in July of 2019. So we had quite a little bit of a, what's I looking for here, like a dearth of content for it to be like, okay, well, here's something new. And I think that without that, we don't get to where we are today. That, and the fact that because it was a weekly release, we had something to talk about. And that was the other thing, was that productions were shut down for such a long time, that there was a dearth of new content, just in general, not just Marvel specific. So it creates this kind of perfect situation where it's like, oh, and here's something to talk about, here's something new, so let's just glom onto this. And I think I said it when I did my blanket review of WandaVision at the end of it, where I think that had this not had the Marvel Studios logo in front of it, I probably wouldn't have continued on past episode 2 or 3. I probably would have given up on it and gone to watch something else or rewatch The Flash or something else. And I think that's kind of a shame for what this show is. Where it's like they're committing to the bits, but I think they don't commit hard enough. All of that said, we're going to address all of that more specifically as we go through WandaVision starting on Thursday. But all of that said, I'm not sure why you would do an Agatha spin-off. Because I think if you had an Agatha spin-off set to go late 2021, you would have been perfect. That is the perfect time to do that. I think not only are we at a point now where general audiences have kind of cooled on WandaVision, but they've cooled on the MCU in general. And part of what we're in right now is this weird period where the greatest key to Marvel Studios' success is to not come out for a while. Like this year we have one major release from Marvel Studios, and that's Deadpool and Wolverine. But beyond that, and even that is going to feel tangentially related to the MCU, I feel like, based on what we've seen. There's not really too many ties to the MCU besides the TVA. And I think that it's the same issue with Star Wars, with Disney, where we had that quick release cadence all through the 2010s, or mid-2010s through 2019, where we had 5 movies between 2015 and 2019. We had 5 movies come out. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot of Star Wars movies when we only ever had 6 prior to that, or 7 prior to that, including the Clone Wars movie. It's the same thing where Disney's like, let's, there's that picture that goes around of Mickey going up to the cow that's been milked dry, and that's kind of what this is. And yes, I get what this is. This is a last vestige of the Chapek era of let's put all of our eggs in the streaming basket. So we're going to get this, but I don't know what the point of this show is. The only thing I can think of watching this trailer is that this movie is going to end with the resurrection of Wanda. Or this show is going to end with the resurrection of Wanda. That was the sense I got from this. Which puts us in a really weird situation. Where to get us back to where we were at the start of Infinity War, which is Wanda and Vision, we had to have 3 TV shows and multiple movies to get us, with these 2 characters, kind of just back at square one. Yes, they'll both be more powerful. Vision won't have an Infinity Stone stuck in his head anymore, and Wanda will, be the full Scarlet Witch. But at the end of the day, all of this was giving these 2 these power-ups, and then being like, alright, we're set for Secret Wars now. Because we had WandaVision, we had Multiverse of Madness, and now we have Agatha, and we have Vision Quest, which is the Vision show that's going to be happening. And we know it's happening because the WGA was staffing for it. So it's kind of a weird situation to be in, where it's like, okay, so what about this is going to inspire me with confidence as a viewer? If even the stuff that in the MCU is more directly related on Disney Plus, all it's doing is just taking this long, circuitous route to get us to where we are. Where it's like, look, to get to this point, we have WandaVision's 9 episodes. If Agatha's 8, I haven't looked at the press kit yet. It could be 8, it could be 6. If Agatha's another 8, then where are we? And it's just kind of a weird place to be in. And I'm not entirely sure who thought this was a good idea. I understand who. This is a Chapek decision. This reeks of Bob Chapek. That whole thing that went on in the in the beginning days of Disney Plus, where it's like, put as much expensive content on there, make it look as good as the movies, make it as big as the movies, and it becomes this thing. It's kind of an odd choice. It's kind of a little bit of an odd choice, especially to put this out as far ahead of San Diego Comic-Con as it did, especially with the rumor that this week we're going to get a trailer for Brave New World. If we get a Brave New World trailer this week, and we get the Agatha trailer and release date confirmation, I'm very interested in what San Diego brings for a Marvel Studios that already announced that they're going to be showing up in force at San Diego in the same year as D23. Where, again, we've said this before, D23, they don't have to share the spotlight. They don't have to share the press cycle. Disney owns that. What are they bringing to San Diego if they're doing this beforehand? What's their big-ticket item? It's intriguing. But still, I'm not super interested in the show. We're going to watch it anyway. It'll be over on Beware of Spoilers. We'll do our episode recaps. We'll do what we do, but it is what it is. We'll see how it all pans out. Plus, the fact that they're doing it on Wednesday, not on Tuesday, is not exactly inspiring with a lot of hope, because they're big shows, they move to Tuesday. To be like, we're so excited, we can't wait another day. It's weird. I don't know why they're doing this. But we'll wrap up there for today. And until our next episode, which will be later this week, we'll talk about WandaVision Episode 1. Have a great rest of your week.